He was just a simple man living alone in the woods. Until one stormy night, he found an unconscious woman, injured and helpless. But when she finally woke up, she looked into his eyes and whispered, "Husband?" He had never seen her before in his life. Who was she? Why did she call him that? And what secret was buried in her past that would change his world forever? Hi everyone. Welcome to the Story Sphere. Today, I am excited to share a new video with you. The storm howls through the trees, the wind bending the branches as rain pours down in sheets. Daniel Carter trudges through the thick, muddy forest, his boots squelching with every step. He's a man used to the solitude of the woods, a simple existence with nothing but nature to keep him company. But tonight, something feels different. Daniel, muttering to himself, "This storm's not normal." Suddenly, his eyes catch something in the distance. A flash of movement. Something or someone is there, lying motionless beneath a large oak tree. He approaches cautiously, heart pounding, wondering if he's imagining things. As he gets closer, his breath catches. It's a woman. Blood stains her clothes, and her face is pale, eyes closed. He drops to his knees beside her, feeling for a pulse. It's faint, but it's there. Daniel, to himself, "What happened to you?" He scoops her up carefully despite the storm and carries her back to his cabin. His cabin is small, isolated, but it's all he's known for the past few years. The warmth from the fireplace flickers as he lays her gently on the couch, wrapping a blanket around her to keep her warm. The sound of the storm continues outside, but inside the cabin, there is only the crackling of the fire and the soft breaths of the unconscious woman. Daniel, sitting by her side, watches her closely. His mind races with questions. Who is she? Why was she out there? And why did she look so familiar? After a few hours, the woman stirs. Her eyelids flutter open, and her gaze lands directly on Daniel. For a moment, there's nothing but silence. Woman, hoarsely. "Husband?" Daniel freezes. The word cuts through the air like a knife, leaving him stunned. He watches her closely, his mind whirling, trying to make sense of it. The woman's eyes are filled with confusion and fear. Daniel, carefully. Who are you?" She blinks, trying to focus on him. Her gaze softens as she scans his face, almost as if she recognizes him, but then doubt flickers in her eyes. Woman, whispers, You're my husband, aren't you?" Daniel leans back, startled by the intensity in her voice. He shakes his head, unable to process her words. "Daniel, I'm not your husband. I don't know who you are. But I found you out there. You were hurt. Do you remember anything?" The woman's eyes dart around the room, her hands clutching at the blanket as if to ground herself. Her lips tremble as she speaks again. Woman, I don't remember. I don't know what's happening. Everything's blurry." Daniel watches her, sympathy flooding his chest. He reaches out but hesitates before touching her hand. "Daniel, it's okay. Just take it easy. You're safe now. But we need to figure out what happened. You don't even know your own name?" The woman's eyes well up with tears. She opens her mouth to speak but falters, the words caught in her throat. Daniel feels a deep pang of compassion. Something isn't right, but he can't ignore the strange sense of familiarity that stirs in him every time he looks at her. Days pass. The storm has subsided, but the woman's memory remains a clouded fog. She can't remember who she is or how she ended up in the woods. Daniel does his best to help her recover, keeping her safe in his cabin. But it's clear that something is very wrong. One night, as they sit by the fire, she looks at him again with those haunted eyes. "Woman, do you ever feel like you're meant to be with someone? Like you've met them before, even if you don't remember?" Daniel's heart skips a beat. The words are too familiar, too unsettling. He forces a smile, trying to ease the tension. Daniel. I don't know. I've been alone for a long time. The woman's expression darkens. She looks down at her hands, almost as if she's searching for something. Woman. Maybe I was supposed to find you. Daniel swallows, the hair on the back of his neck standing up. There's something unsettling about her words, something that gnaws at him, pulling him deeper into the mystery. Later that evening, as Daniel sorts through some old boxes in the cabin's attic, he stumbles upon something strange. A photograph. He picks it up and stares at it, his fingers trembling slightly as he recognizes the woman in the picture. It's her. The same face, the same eyes, but she looks different, happier, younger. The photograph shows her standing with another man, a man Daniel has never seen before. But there's a deeper sense of unease now. The woman in the photo isn't just a stranger. She's part of something far more complicated than he ever imagined. As Daniel delves deeper into the mystery, things start to unravel. He discovers that the woman's name is Emma, and she has been missing for several years. The man in the photo is her husband, someone who was reported dead after a tragic accident. But Daniel knows better. He feels it in his gut. He confronts Emma about the photograph, holding it in front of her as she looks away, her expression unreadable. Daniel. Who is he? And why do I feel like I'm connected to this? Emma's eyes widen, a flicker of recognition crossing her face. She opens her mouth, but the words don't come. It's as if the memories are too painful, too dangerous for her to face. But then, something shifts. She whispers, almost to herself. Emma. It wasn't an accident. Daniel's heart races. He leans in closer, barely able to contain the urgency in his voice. Daniel. What do you mean? What wasn't an accident? Emma trembles, her body racked with fear. She backs away, shaking her head, as if trying to escape the truth. But it's too late. The past is catching up with them. The storm outside picks up again, louder now, mirroring the chaos that has erupted within the cabin. Emma's secrets are about to be revealed. And with them, the truth that will change Daniel's life forever. The room is heavy with tension. The wind howls against the cabin's walls, as though nature itself is trying to break in. Emma stands trembling, eyes wide in horror, backing away from the photo in Daniel's hand. Her voice cracks when she speaks again. Emma, you don't understand. You shouldn't know this. You're not supposed to know. Daniel steps forward, his mind racing, refusing to back down. The sense of urgency in the air feels suffocating. The truth is just out of reach, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to uncover it. Daniel. Emma, I don't care about the past. I just need to understand. Who is this man? Why are you running from the truth? She squeezes her eyes shut, as if trying to shut out the memories, but the tears betray her. She slowly lowers her hands and speaks in a voice barely above a whisper. Emma, his name is Richard. My husband. He wasn't just any man. He was involved in something dangerous. The accident wasn't an accident. It was a setup. They tried to kill him, but I got away. Daniel's mind reels as he processes her words. Richard, the man in the photograph, wasn't just a victim of fate. He had been targeted. And now Emma's life was in danger because of it. Something dark and sinister was lurking behind this whole story. Daniel. Calm but intense. Who tried to kill him? Why are they after you? Emma's face twists in pain and she shakes her head. Emma. I don't remember everything. The memories are scattered. But I know that when he came back, he was different. He wasn't the same man I had married. I tried to help him, but he kept pushing me away. I think he was involved with people who deal with things that are better left alone. Daniel watches her closely, struggling to make sense of her fragmented story. This isn't just about Emma's past. It's about something far bigger, something dangerous. Daniel, softly. And what happened to him? Emma's voice quivers. Emma. They took him. The people who were after him. They found us. And when I escaped, I lost everything. My memories, my life, my identity. Daniel looks down at the photo in his hand, the pieces falling into place. Richard's disappearance, Emma's memory loss, the strange connection he feels to her. It's all part of a larger puzzle. And it's a puzzle that someone doesn't want solved. The following morning, Daniel decides they can't stay at the cabin any longer. The storm has passed, but the danger has only just begun. Emma has started to piece together bits of her memory, but the more she remembers, the more she fears. There are people after her, people who want her dead because of what she knows. Daniel, grabbing a backpack. We need to get out of here. We can't wait any longer. Emma, but where will we go? Daniel, looking out the window. Anywhere but here. We can't trust anyone, Emma. The people who want you gone are everywhere. They'll stop at nothing to find you. Emma nods, fear in her eyes. But there's something else there now. A glimmer of hope. Despite everything that's happened, despite the danger, she's starting to trust Daniel. He's been her only ally in this storm of confusion and fear. They pack quickly, silently, knowing that every second counts. As they leave the cabin, Emma stops at the door, glancing back one last time. Emma whispers, "This place? This was supposed to be my escape, but now it feels like a trap." Daniel squeezes her shoulder reassuringly. Daniel, we'll find a way out. Together. They don't get far before they're forced to hide. The sound of an approaching vehicle echoes through the woods, sending both of them into a panic. Daniel pulls Emma into a small grove of trees, crouching low, watching the road. He can hear the tires crunching over the gravel, the vehicle's engine humming ominously. Daniel's mind races. He knows they've been found. They need to act fast, or they'll be caught. Emma, whispering, "Who are they? What do they want with me?" Daniel, gritting his teeth. "I don't know yet, but we need to move. Fast." They begin to move through the woods, taking cover behind trees and rocks as they navigate their way away from the road. The sounds of the vehicle fade, but their fear does not. As they reach a clearing, Daniel stops and looks at Emma, who seems even more shaken than before. Daniel, "Emma, listen to me. You have to tell me everything. No more secrets." She hesitates for a long moment, then nods, tears starting to form in her eyes. She sits down on a nearby rock, her voice shaky. "Emma, the people who are after me, they're part of a group that operates in the shadows. They've done terrible things. They've taken people, erased their memories, controlled them. I think Richard was trying to stop them, but they got to him first." Daniel stares at her, shocked by the implications of her words. A shadowy organization? Mind control? This is bigger than he ever imagined. "Emma," voice trembling, "I think Richard tried to protect me by making me forget everything. But now they've come for me again." Suddenly they hear footsteps in the distance. Someone's getting closer. Daniel, urgently, "We need to go, now." They run. Their only choice is to keep moving, keep hiding. But Emma's past is catching up with them, and the shadows are growing longer with every step. Days pass, and the pressure builds. Emma's memories are slowly returning, and Daniel begins to understand the full scope of what they're up against. The shadowy group Emma spoke of is real, and they want her back. Finally, they're cornered, trapped in an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. The group has found them, and they're closing in. Daniel holds Emma close, refusing to let go. Emma, frantic. We can't escape. They'll find us. Daniel, determined. We'll fight. We'll make them regret underestimating us. Just as the door bursts open, a figure steps into the cabin. A man in a dark suit, his face cold and emotionless. It's clear he's in charge. He looks at Emma with a calculating stare. Man, you don't know when to quit, do you? You should have stayed out of this. Now you'll pay the price. Emma stares back, defiance in her eyes. Emma, I'll never go back to you. The man steps forward, but before he can react, Daniel lunges, knocking him to the ground. A brief struggle ensues, but Daniel's raw desperation and strength are enough to overpower the man. The man reaches for a hidden weapon, but Daniel is faster. With a decisive motion, Daniel disarms him and presses the barrel of the weapon to his chest. Daniel, tell me everything. Now. The man glares at him, but knows he's lost. He spits on the floor, but the information starts to come. The truth about the shadowy group, their operations, and their ultimate goals. It's all out in the open now. After the confrontation, Emma and Daniel make their escape. The group is defeated, and the threat to Emma's life is finally over. She's free, and Daniel has found something he never expected: purpose, and someone worth fighting for. As they walk away from the cabin, the sun begins to rise, casting its first light on a new beginning. Emma, softly, thank you for everything. Daniel, smiling, you don't have to thank me. You're not alone anymore.